Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Okay everyone, Radio Silence has broken their silence about Scream 5. In this video, I'm going to discuss the new Radio Silence interview that took place yesterday on the Facebook Audio Room event. This video is part 1 of my interview breakdown. Let's go! So in this interview with Radio Silence, we got a great peek behind the curtain of Scream 5. And I'm going to play some of what I consider to be the highlights of the discussion, and then I will share my thoughts after each clip. So, first up, Radio Silence was asked, how much pressure is there, and was there, to live up to this franchise?
I mean, there's nothing but pressure, and I think we take that very seriously. Obviously, we're mega fans of Wes Craven and everything that he's built over the years, and I think with this franchise particularly, this one holds a special place in all of our hearts. So we come at it as mega fans of everything Scream, and I think, you know, after like living with Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4 for all these years, and just going back in and really dissecting what he did with it, I think the pressure was high, and I think the entire team that put together this movie, A, felt that, and B, kind of like just took the challenge head on and approached it as fans. That's what's kind of fun about making a Scream movie, right? You have a little bit of a meta awareness of what's going on in the world, and you're able to like comment on that a little bit. And I think we approached this one differently than we have approached other movies, obviously, because we knew there was a sense of paying respect and not an homage, but like just being aware of what came before and how we can add to the lexicon of the franchise, and how we could build off of that and also make it accessible to people who might not be familiar with the franchise and what everything Scream represents. And I think that was the challenge that we took on, and that's something that I think there's something in it for everybody, right? There's something in it for the people who are diehard Scream fans from day one, which was 25 years and a day ago. And there are people who might just be hearing about Scream right now. I think that was the big challenge to take on, and it's something that we really looked forward to, and I think that we executed one way or the other. Scene coming up. Yeah, we executed. Yeah, it got executed. We executed. It has been executed. Yeah. Right.
So what I loved hearing in their response about pressure was that, yes, there is nothing but pressure. You know, had they come out and said, no, we're not feeling any pressure because this is a new movie and we're going to do Scream our way and it's reinvented, you know, et cetera, that kind of stuff. Had they said that, I would have been a little nervous about what the direction of this movie may be. However, the fact that they were transparent and open about how they are indeed feeling the pressure of the previous films and of Wes Craven in general, kind of reaching that bar, you know, the pressure to be at that level. And they approached making this movie as mega fans, really. That's what they said, as mega fans. And I think the fact that they took the history of the Scream franchise so serious, is all of these things are going to make a movie, I believe, that will be very satisfying for us. I really do believe that. And I'm going into this very optimistic. And as I continue to hear them speak about the movie in interviews and written interviews, and now this one with their own spoken word, I really do believe that we're going to be fine. I think it's going to be a great movie. Okay, next up, Radio Silence was asked, what are some of the major ideas they wanted to include that paid respect to the franchise, and how was it in the writing room?
That will probably go down in history for us as one of the most memorable moments in our career, sitting in the conference room at Project X, each with a hard copy of the script, and just pinching ourselves. I mean, it was just absolutely it was wildly surreal. First, to just get to be involved in any way, but to also be the first people outside of the writers and the producers who are intimately involved up to that point to know what's going to happen in the next Scream movie. And I can say that very little changed story-wise from what we read in the conference room that day to what is ultimately on screen. And look, that's just a testament to Guy and Jamie and how much they love these movies, and honestly how much they poured themselves and their love of these movies into this script. And all of the ingredients are there. It's scary, it's funny, it's meta, it's self-reflexive. We've got the legacy cast back. We have an insanely talented new group of actors coming in to kind of carry on a new legacy, and it just ticked all the right boxes for us. There's a lot of way for these movies to go wrong, and it just went right at every sort of turn of the story. And I mean, it was love at first read. We knew that it was the next project as soon as we started reading.
Yeah, and just to jump off that real quick, it took us about 4 hours to read the whole script. So Jamie kept poking his head into the room, being like, "Do we just offer this movie to people who can't read?" Because they were like, they didn't know how to, because we really devoured every single word that was on the page, and we, again, reading it as fans and also seeing how like we would execute it was like a lot of fun, and we were all reading at the same pace and just having a blast as we were reading it for the first time.
Hearing their genuine excitement and passion for the franchise and for the script of Scream 5, it just gets me even more pumped for this movie. I really like when they discussed how all of the ingredients are there in the story for a Scream movie. And then he called out those ingredients specifically. He said it's being scary. The ingredients are being scary, that it's funny, that the movie's meta, and self-reflective. And all of those ingredients mixed with the OG3 cast, and as they put it, an insanely talented new group of actors coming in, to carry on a new legacy, and that the script hit all of the right boxes for them. So that is fantastic news. And I just love the fact that they confirmed that they are not deviating from what we love in a Scream movie and what Wes and Kevin have established, that we have a scary film, that it's funny, it's meta and self-reflective. Those elements are all there. And then, of course, the new insanely talented cast that's going to be joining the OG3. I just want to say how very happy I am to hear about all of these ingredients. I think it's fantastic to hear it and get that confirmation finally that is indeed going to be the case. Because for a good while now, there's been much speculation about how Radio Silence was going to possibly not even have the meta aspect of the Scream film, in the Scream film, the whole meta thing that Scream is famous for, and that they were going to replace a lot of the more humorous side of the franchise with a much darker feel and tone to the movie. Well, thankfully, we know now for sure that the ingredients we do all love and what is really the essential DNA of a Scream film, they have kept it intact for Scream 5. Now, that does not mean Scream 5 won't have a darker tone, because I do think it will still have a darker feel to the film than perhaps we've seen in some of the sequels. I mean, Scream 1 was dark. I think that, Scream, I think they all have dark moments, of course, but, as far as tonally goes, Scream 3 wasn't extremely dark tonally. It was still, but I love the movie. But my point is, I think we are going to see a darker feel, a darker overall shade, if you will, to Scream 5, but not at the expense of everything else. They're still going to have that meta aspect, self-reflective in the movie, the funny aspect. That's still going to be a part of it, and I love that. I think it's great. Honestly, I'm one of those people that would be very disappointed if they altered that. I would, because it's not a Scream movie then. It's something else. But this is a Scream film, so I'm very pleased about that. Okay, we have one more interview segment for this part 1 Radio Silence interview breakdown video, and in this segment, it was like they were asked, after discussing the script a little bit longer, Radio Silence actually went on to comment what it was like getting to know everyone, and also getting everyone together for like a couple of days before they started filming, and what that experience was like. Here's what they had to say.
I'll never forget we did this big kickoff dinner before we started shooting, and it was the first time all of the cast was together. The legacy cast, our new cast members. I mean, it was this moment where I think for us, you sort of white knuckle it through pre-production and through prep, and you just hope that the movie's going to go, and it doesn't ever really feel real until it suddenly feels real. And I think that night for us, it was this moment of, wow, we're here. all of the pieces of the puzzle are sitting at this dinner, and we're going to start shooting in 2 days. And there was something, there was just this excitement. I think everybody felt like we were there to do something really, really special. And we all sort of went around and said something about the movies and about Wes. And it was, it felt like we're here we go. We got the right group together, and let's go make a movie.
I really enjoy hearing these behind the scenes moments and that they are sharing about making the movie. And my favorite part of this segment is when Tyler mentioned how all the cast members were together for the pre-filming dinner, and how there was a sense of excitement that everyone felt, and how it felt like they were all there to make something special. It just gets me so excited to hear this, guys. And we've also heard on other interviews about how close the cast has become, and how they were making the film, and how they were genuinely really cared about each other, and how they spent every night playing games and getting closer together and bonding. So what Courtney Cox had mentioned at the event in Brazil. I really just think that it's going to transfer over to the screen and what we see in the film, much like we saw in Scream 96, because they did much the same thing. They hung out every night in the hotel, same situation, and it really did carry over on the screen. Now, my final thought on this segment is how cool it was that during the initial cast dinner, they went around to each person and they said something about the movie and something about Wes. And the reason I love that so much is because from the very first meeting together, they are already honoring Wes Craven and dedicating this movie to him. The awareness of Wes's legacy in the Scream films and the respect they all have for him, it just amps up the stakes. It just amps it up. It does. For me, it takes it even higher. And I just think it's fantastic. I love hearing these little nuggets behind the scenes of what happened. And the fact that they all came together with that respect for Wes and the franchise, and combine all that with the excitement and the dedication and commitment to their roles, dude. I'm telling you what, this gets me pumped. It just does. So that's all I'm going to cover, guys, in this part 1 video of breaking down the Radio Silence interview. But there is more to discuss. So I will post part 2 of my thoughts about the final half of their interview tomorrow. All right, guys, that's everything I wanted to cover. But as it is with every video that I post, I do want to begin a discussion with you in the comments below right now. What are your thoughts on this part 1 of the Radio Silence interview? What'd you think about what they had to say? Any additional thoughts? I want to hear your opinions and ideas and how any of this may change or solidify your current theories. So start leaving your comments below right now so we can discuss it together. All right, that is it, guys. I'll be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thank you for watching.